Welcome back. We got out of 2020 alive. Well, some of us, but we're glad it's over, and we're bringing you a beautiful episode. We had a holiday issues. We all had a little too much eggnog, and we just couldn't record.
Nice.
So
What
yeah,
just
no,
even
we're gonna
happened?
we're gonna roll with it.
My dad came in's like, time to eat. I thought I locked the door.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with it.
Are you
So
gonna go get food?
I'm gonna lock the door.
Oh.
all right, but yeah. So while we wait for Richie, welcome to another episode of the Bold Predictions Podcast. We are your three hosts. My name is AJ,
I am Richie.
I'm down.
and we are bringing you another phenomenal episode. And no, we did not disappear off into a distant whatever. We are here. We just missed a week because happy holidays. It was Christmas, it was New Year's. We are recording this on the first day of 2021. Woo!
Happy New Year. Woo.
Happy New Year, happy holidays, and if you don't celebrate holidays, happy week. Anyway, we're glad that 2020 is over. We're glad that we finally made it out of it alive. Some of us, we're glad we finally made it out of alive. Some of us didn't, but we're moving on. But we are here bringing you another great episode, and yeah, are you guys excited?
Yeah,
Always.
I'm 17.
All right. Yeah. We were talking to our editor before this, and he knows football so much, so he's excited for our episode to come out. And then we sadly don't have our fourth person. He is busy twiddling his thumb somewhere. But we're going to manage as we've been doing. So we are going to start off with a big topic that we wanted to discuss last week, but didn't have the time to get to. Obviously, we are going to talk about the Pro Bowl and all of the big snubs that were not included. And we obviously a lot of you are going to know some obvious ones, but we have a little bit of some choices that we want to talk about. So, who would like to go first?
I'll take the first one. I'm not sure if this one's so
Alrighty.
much under the radar. Maybe it's not talked about as much, but I actually like Devontae David this year a lot. Liked him more than Bobby Wagner, who I think only got into the Pro Bowl due to name recognition, like another tight end that we're going to talk about later on. Devontae has 109 combined, 77 solo tackles on the year, with 2 fumble recoveries, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. Compare that to Bobby Wagner's stats of 132 combined tackles, only 78 solo, so only 1 more than David. 1 fumble recovery, 0 forced fumbles, and 0 interceptions. Now, I think no one on the Bucs defense really got recognized for their work this year outside of Jason Pierre-Paul. But their defense as a whole in 2020 has been stout, especially against the run, and it's a good complement to their offense because now they are going to the playoffs. So good for the Bucs. First time in a few years that they managed to make the postseason. Compared to the Seahawks defense, which has struggled, especially in the beginning of the year. They found their footing in more recent weeks, but are still not as solid as the Bucs defense. So I think that just due to name recognition, Wagner made it, but I think David was a big snub, and I think that he should have made the 2021 Pro Bowl.
Do you want to go next?
I think he's lagging, bro. No, bro.
So we'll chop right when you finish there, and then when it comes back. You just see his face.
No.
call him real quick?
Sure.
Bro, talk about things going from bad to worse.
Bro, you're like frozen on our screen.
Bro, my internet just died.
No.
Wait, hold on, wait.
Oh, your camera just went gray.
I'm back, wait. Can you hear me? You're muted, AJ.
You're muted.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fine.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh my god, it's not. It's like it's here, but it's not.
Hang up. Yeah, you're lagging a little bit.
Oh, talk about going from bad to worse.
It's like,
Jeez
AJ, you want to get the
Louise.
next one? And then you just
We
like,
might. We might need a new thumbnail for this one. Oh man.
Andrew, if you just crop out your face and put it on top of Evan Ingram's.
Honestly, yeah. Okay. All right. So, where did we leave off?
we're just cropping it. We're like right as he finishes Levante David. So then you're just gonna be like, all right, I'll talk about Tanya.
Okay. Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
You count it down.
Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. So I'm gonna be talking about our lovely big snub of the Pro Bowl. You know him, you love him. Well, some people probably don't love him, but like I said, he's probably the biggest snub of the entire Pro Bowl for the NFC side, at least. And that is Green Bay Packers tight end Robert Tonyan. Maybe it's just me being personal, but I feel like there weren't that many options for tight end in the NFC. Granted, you only needed 2, luckily, so there weren't many options to choose from. But Tonyan probably should have made it in. And T.J. Hawkinson, the Detroit Lions tight end, he played very well this season, considering their star wide receiver was out. So they had to make do with Marvin Jones and Amendola and Hawkinson. And he played well for an NFC tight end. But the other one, no offense to Richie, Evan Ingram probably shouldn't have made the Pro Bowl over Tonyan at least. And I mean, it's really just obvious, I think. I mean, Tonyan's stat-wise, his stats don't look the best, but he's tied for 6th in touchdowns, which is absolutely insane because, 1, he's a tight end, and 2, he's not really one of the big names that were mentioned before the season even started. He was an undrafted whatchamacallit. I can't think of the word. He was undrafted. That's what I'm going to go with. Yeah, that's the word. He was an undrafted free agent, and he absolutely blew up this year. So, I mean, there's not really much to say about this guy besides he's an absolute stud and should have made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, real quick. Him and Ingram had like identical stats, except he had 10 touchdowns while Ingram had 1. So there's just really no reason Ingram should have been in. So my first player I'll talk about is Calvin Ridley. The NFC was pretty stacked with receivers, not going to lie. We have Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, and DeAndre Hopkins. Now, Devontae obviously is in. He's just like miles above everyone else. But then the other 3 are pretty interchangeable with Calvin Ridley, and I think one of them is actually worse than Calvin Ridley. So we'll start with what's his face? DK Metcalf, who had almost 1,300 yards, 80 receptions, and 10 touchdowns. So compared to Calvin Ridley's 82 receptions, 1,322 yards, and 9 touchdowns, they're pretty similar. And then DeAndre Hopkins had, I believe it was, let me check real quick. Yeah, 1,372 yards with only 6 touchdowns, but 111 receptions. So that's pretty interchangeable with more receptions but less touchdowns. But then Justin Jefferson had, in one extra game than Calvin Ridley had 3 less receptions, about 50 less yards, and 3 less touchdowns. So in one extra game, he had less in every category. So I do feel that even though Justin Jefferson was like the breakout rookie of the year, I still think that Calvin Ridley actually had the better year overall. I don't know if it's just the overshadowing by Julio or whatnot that players didn't really vote for Calvin, but I think he is definitely at least tied for third in the NFC for like best receiver this year.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's a beast. I mean, they're all beasts, but coming up next, my second player, I'm going to say DeForest Buckner was a Pro Bowl snub for 2021. He didn't play in all the games this year, but I think he only missed 2. He has 54 combined tackles on the year, 34 solo, 8 tackles for loss, 1 safety, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 pass defense. Now, I'm going to compare him to Calais Campbell, who only played in so far 11 games this year. He has 28 tackles, 18 solo, 10 QB hits, 5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and 6 pass defenses, 0 forced fumbles. I don't think I said sacks for Buckner, who has 7.5. So just across the board, Buckner has better stats. It's directly attributed to playing more games, so he has more opportunities to rack up these stats. But in my opinion, availability is the best type of ability. And not taking away from Calais, because he is an absolute monster. That's why the Ravens traded for him this year. But as far as this year goes, Buckner's been the better player, and I think San Fran is kind of crying a little bit that they didn't keep him on and went for Kinlaw instead in the first round. It's a big money save, but in terms of player, there's not many Buckners in the league, so I think that Buckner should have made the 2021 Pro Bowl.
Yeah, Buckner's a beast. I sadly remember him in the NFC Championship game where the Packers didn't have an offense, and that D-line was insane. But moving on, I feel like at least every episode I have to mention either some player on the Packers or my other snub, which is James Robinson. James Robinson, maybe it's the fact that he's a rookie. Maybe it's the fact that Jacksonville was garbage all around. Could be something like that, but I don't know. He was a huge standout player, and being on Jacksonville should have made him more standout for the Pro Bowl. And I'm gonna compare him to the third running back on the list for the AFC in Josh Jackson. Comparing their overall 2020 season stats, from the looks of it, they're very similar. Josh Jacobs had 258 attempts compared to 240 from James Robinson, and James Robinson had almost 100 yards over. Actually, yeah, almost 100 yards more than Jacobs. He has 3 less touchdowns with less attempts, and he has more average yardage at a 4.5 yards per carry compared to Jacobs' 3.8. So overall, I feel like James Robinson should have been in the Pro Bowl. It's understandable because I guess Josh Jacobs, he was good last year and he was bound to be good this year. But Las Vegas was just a disappointing team overall, and Jacksonville was too, but they had a stud in James Robinson. So I feel like he should have made the Pro Bowl as well.
So, okay, my next player is going to be Trey Hendrickson. So I'll admit, I never even heard of him before this year, but he has completely broken out and is, I believe, tied for third in the league. Let me check that again. Yeah, third in the league for sacks right now with 12.5. The player I want to be taking out in place of him is Chase Young. I get Chase Young is, a good rookie and all, and he was all hyped up for the draft and everything, but when you just look at the stats, it just kind of doesn't match up really. So Trey has 12.5 sacks compared to Chase's 6.5. Trey has 21 solo tackles and 1 forced fumble compared to 30 solo tackles and 4 forced fumbles. So Chase beats him in those 2 categories, but is only half the sacks. And then I looked at QB hits. Chase Young only has 9 QB hits. They play the same amount of games. He has 9. Trey Hendrickson has 21, I believe, or 22. So it's a pretty big disparity, in my opinion, on the QB pressure side of it. And when I watched the Saints play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, it was apparent that the best player in that game was Trey Hendrickson. Like, he was all over Pat Mahomes the whole time. He was the one keeping the Saints in the game for as long as they were. So I definitely think he deserves some credit. Maybe even more than his teammate Cam Jordan, who made the Pro Bowl as well. So
Yeah, it just kind of shows how screwy the whole Pro Bowl voting is. As a Giants fan, we had our safety Logan Ryan have the most Pro Bowl votes from fans than any other safety in the NFL, or maybe it was NFC, and he didn't make the Pro Bowl. So there's always snubs every year. System isn't perfect, but we need to fix it.
Yeah, I guess if you did vote for players for the Pro Bowl, doesn't matter. Your vote doesn't matter.
They don't care.
Honestly, like looking at the Brandon Graham and Cameron Jordan as well, like Trey has like the best stats, and he just didn't make it. Like he's better than all of them. So
You just got to be a well-known name.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
yeah,
Legit, yeah. There's no other way to make it unless you've been playing in the league for so long. But can't wait for next year when we're talking about more snubs. But that's just going to be a constant thing. I feel like they just should not have the Pro Bowl anymore.
Oh, that's actually
That could be controversial, but I don't know. The Pro Bowl it's kind of a mess.
I like it. I just wish they revised the system. Like it's not good.
Yeah, actually, I'm actually more on AJ's side here because the Pro Bowl has been absolute dog shit for the past few years because players don't want to get injured. They barely try in the games. The most fun part about the Pro Bowl are the games. So if they took out the game, like when they play football, and had more dodgeball and other activities, that's been like showing to get more of the views and been more interesting to players. Like when what was it? Thielen threw better than Kirk or whatever it was when Adams threw better than Kirk. Like that was fun. That was interesting to watch. Not players jogging up the field and just not even trying to tackle and all sorts of shenanigans like that. So
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I will say the one time I thought that a game was interesting was when they had I forget who it was, but they had like two teams named after a person that was in charge of a team, and they had to like draft players from the like Pro Bowl. I thought that was pretty cool.
It was like Irvin and somebody else, but
yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, but otherwise, the AFC versus the NFC, not because like you said, Rich, no one tries. And it's fun to see people not try when they're like the mini games, like the dodgeball and the kick-tac-toe and stuff like that. But yeah, more of those, less of the actual game. But we'll move on. All right. So next up, I think we said team talk, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. I was getting confused.
Okay.
Random rational rants. So.
Yeah, we got so many segments we're losing track of them. But so as we said, we sadly don't have our fourth host with us today, but we're going to still try and make this work. So we'll start off with the Packers question. Let's see which one I want to do though. So I don't want to talk about after the NFL yet, or maybe I do. This is hard. We'll hit it with this. Dan, as a Packers fan, are the Packers the worst second half team in the NFL?
yeah, yeah. It's either like the way our games go is either we out of the gate just suck. Like this happened a lot last year, just suck, and it happened against Tampa. And we can never really get it back. Or like we just go up big time, and then coming out of half, we always give up points. I don't know what it is. We always let teams back into the game. And Aaron even said that on the Pat McAfee podcast. He was talking about how they just have to be able to like just put a team away. Like when they were beating Carolina, like it shouldn't have been 21-16. It should have been like 40-12. But
I mean,
I would say.
Yeah, we're pretty bad when it comes to the second half. I mean, I think the most memorable one for me is the Indy game where we were destroying them points-wise, and then they got like 20-something points unanswered, and they won by a field goal in overtime because of that. Shout out to Blankenship. He's a great-looking lad. But, it's sad to say. I mean, actually, mentioning that again, the Tampa Bay game, we scored 10 points in the first quarter. Didn't score again that entire game.
Yep.
And we thought in the second half it would get better, but it didn't.
I think we're a really big momentum team. Like if we're scoring like like Titans, we just kind of just kept scoring. But if like when Aaron throws 2 picks like he did in the Tampa game, like everything just kind of falls to shit. Like we're really big about momentum.
Yeah, I mean, with the Titans game, I got scared too because after the second half, when Tannehill all of a sudden broke for 30, 40-yard rush, I forget how much it was. But I saw that and I was like, oh no, it's happening again. And then we scored a touchdown right after that, and I was like, we're gold.
Yeah, that
Thank
game,
God.
like we kind of let them back in, but it wasn't like the Colts where like we couldn't still score. Like we kept it up kind of, so it wasn't. As
Yeah, thank God. I'm just hoping we can finish out games as long as our defense plays well, like they did against Tennessee. I have hope. But Richie, you have any outsider perspective that you'd like to touch on?
Yeah. Y'all spoiled. That's all I'm gonna say. Packers. I'm predicting to end the season 13-3, and you guys are talking about being the worst second half team, while the Atlanta Falcons are 4-12, bottom of the NFC according to my predictions. Like they're gonna finish 4-12. And you guys are like, we're the worst second half team.
well, yeah, I have them in mind, but we're talking about like teams that are like having a chance and stuff.
Okay,
like,
then if in terms of that, then I honestly I haven't really like paid too close attention to the Packers because it always seems like they go up big and then it's over. But I mean, 13-3 is a fantastic record. So at least my prediction says so. Maybe the Bears pull off a crazy comeback.
Yeah,
Upset.
They could. If they do make the playoffs and we play them, it is hard to beat a team 3 times. So, but so for the Giants question, I will say it was hard. These are still kind of based off last week since we were so busy. So I apologize for that, Rich. But I'm gonna hit you with this one because this one's kind of a this was kind of a past question when you guys were playing well. So think of it from there, okay? Don't think of it as the recent weeks. So when the Giants were playing well, was that the case of Colt McCoy playing well and rallying the whole team, or was that a case of your offensive coordinator calling good calls for once?
Ooh,
Or Daniel Jones even coming out of nowhere and playing well?
Gosh, I do think Garrett had a few good games, a few good called games. Our offensive coordinator. I think he's going to be on the chopping block after this year, if I'm being honest. But gosh, I would say it was a combination of Garrett and Jones hitting probably the best streak of games he's played in his career. In that streak he didn't throw a turnover. Of course, then he went down with an injury, and Colt McCoy came in. And I don't think it was McCoy in that game. I think it was, again, I'll kind of give credit to Garrett and the troops for executing very well because they said, okay, we're going to run the ball, despite Seattle having, or the stats saying they had a good run D, but they didn't. They said, we're going to run the ball, and they committed to it, and it worked. But now, with the mindset I have now, I think the play call has gotten significantly worse. Jones is not 100%, and it shows. And I mean, it's expected because we beat a string outside of Seattle of bad teams, and now we're playing good teams, and we suck. So it makes sense. We are phonies, but I really hope we make the playoffs.
So I will add on to this question then. Since you are playing the Cowboys, do you feel like you have a chance because of Jason Garrett?
I don't know if it really matters in terms of like him having insider knowledge about the team. I think honestly it's going to come down to what we've been doing all year. Can our defense slow down Dallas's offense just enough to where our offense can score 7 points and win the game? And I don't think that's going to happen. So, but I'm hopeful. I'm still picking the Giants. So no, I don't.
Well, I think you guys can have a chance. What was the score of the last game? Do you remember? The last time you played the Giants or Dallas?
34-31. But there were 2 defensive touchdowns by both teams. Or maybe it was 37-34. But 2 defensive touchdowns.
But it was still relatively close. So
No, that was with Dak for like 3/4 of the game, and then Dalton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that could raise your chances maybe. Without Dak and without Zeke doing something, I guess that's how I want to word that because he did something, I guess. But yeah, I think there's a chance. There is. If you're in the NFC East, there's a chance. There's always a chance.
True.
But I mean,
might
yeah.
pick the Giants.
See, look, it's a possibility, and I mean, I'm thinking Dallas does have the advantage, right?
Oh, what do you mean?
Actually, that wouldn't matter. No, never mind. I went dumb because it doesn't matter. Whoever wins, if Washington lost, they get in, right? It's either team. Yeah. So I mean, weirder things have happened in the NFL. Any given Sunday, Richie, every dog has its day. You got to remember these quotes. These quotes are going to come back. And when the Giants win on Sunday, I'm going to send every single one of these quotes to you. Leave them in the comments if you got this far. But, all right. So I'll ask one more question for both teams. I'll go back-to-back with Richie. How about that?
Ooh, okay.
So this one is going to be a after-season question. I think I asked you this one before. So with your, I was looking onto your free agencies, and I was wondering, what names do you think the Giants should bring back?
Ooh.
What big names, I should say?
This one's tough because there are a lot of players, impact players that we're going to lose after this year. So Leonard Williams, our top defensive tackle, Dalvin Tomlinson, another one. We actually just signed Logan Ryan to a 3-year deal, so he's here to stay. And Wayne Gallman, who's filled in very nicely for Saquon Barkley. But unfortunately, I think Gallman's price tag is probably going to be a little high. It all depends because they said they might lessen the cap this year because of COVID and money reasons. So because of that, I don't think we're going to be able to keep everyone. I do hope they have a plan in action to like cut Nate Solder, who's very expensive, cut maybe our right guard, who would have probably zero dead money. So that'd be like a lot of savings, and cut Golden Tate. And with 3 of those guys who really don't play that big of a part in the offense gone, we may be able to re-sign our defensive players and keep the defensive side strong. So I don't know. The one big name I need Giants to go for this year is any type of big time wide receiver, whether it's the draft or free agency. I don't care who it is. Allen Robinson, you may do with Mitchell Trubisky. You can do with Daniel Jones. He's probably a slight downgrade, but who cares?
I mean, Allen Robinson wants. I feel like he wants to get out of Chicago, but I feel like he doesn't at the same time. I feel like the team is trying to drive him away, but I don't know. He's the kind of guy that would stay with his team.
I feel like he wouldn't go to the Giants just because it's like the same shit.
Exactly.
From Bortles to Mitch to Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Rough guy, a rough time. So you could get like you might be maybe you can get like a Galladay.
I hope just anyone, seriously anyone, because we need a number 1 receiver. Because I think we should give Jones 1 more year, give him 1 more year to prove himself, keep the turnovers down, get more than 9 touchdowns, please, and let's.
Now, when is Saquon's contract over?
So I think after this year, they're talking about the franchise tag. So if we franchise tag him, he'll have 2 or not franchise, first year. Like 5th year for the first year. Wow, what am I saying? 5th year options for the first round players would be after this season.
Oh, okay.
So if we did that, he'd have 2 more years left.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Dan, do you have anything you want to add for that?
No, not really. You got everything.
All right. Well, I wish the Giants the best of luck. They're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to get blown out by the Bucks. We're hoping not, though. But hey, at least you make the playoffs, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right. So my last question. Dan was obviously excited for this question before, but as we heard the news from yesterday, 2020 decided to kick Packer fans in the groin right before it left, and took David Bakhtiari with a season-ending torn ACL. Another one bites the dust. Does that now for Dan? The question is, does that set back our team significantly to the point where we really don't have a chance anymore?
Well, hold on. Has he missed any games before this?
He
This
missed
year?
3 games, and without him, he missed I think week 7 to 9, and we went 2-1
Who played
without
left
him.
tackle? Did they have Elton Jenkins
I
out
think
there?
I think it might have been Billy Turner,
Okay, because I know
but Elton Jenkins can play everywhere.
Yeah, he's played every single. Yeah. So yeah, obviously this really fucking hurts. Like he's our best lineman. Um, Aaron's been he's been the least sacked quarterback like by far this year. Um, when I saw the news yesterday, like my immediate reaction is yeah, we're fucked. But at the same time, I still think the NFC is a bit weak compared to the AFC, and I think our real competition is the Saints. I think every other team has bigger issues than just missing their left tackle, and I think Billy Turner's good. I think Elton Jenkins is good. So whoever actually plays it will do fine. We got Corey Linsley back for center, so like we even though we lost Bakhtiari, we got another piece back. So yes, it definitely hurts, and it could be that little deciding factor when we play the Saints or whoever in the championship game that maybe costs it. But I don't think it'll affect the first few rounds of the playoffs.
I mean, really, all I can hope for at this rate is for the Packers to get the 1 seed and just have the playoffs run through Lambeau Field, because as we saw with Tennessee, it makes a huge difference playing in the cold. And the Saints play in a dome, the Buccaneers play in warm weather, the Rams are in California if they make it. The only team that, if they make the playoffs, the only team that would be able to play in Lambeau are the Bears.
Yeah.
Which is sad to say, but they've been there and they're in the cold all the time. So we would have a huge advantage, and even missing a phenomenal player like Bakhtiari, I feel like we can definitely go the distance. I mean, we only got to win 4 games from here on. So
The way I see it, I'm less concerned about this year's playoffs than I am about if he'll be the same afterwards, and if misses all of next season. So I don't know how that's gonna happen because it's usually 9 to 12 months. So like tearing it this late in the season, you're gonna miss like the first like 6 weeks probably at least. So I'm more worried about next season to be honest, and like kind of what I'm saying, like if him like Saquon, Odell, if they'll all be like the same kind of player after this, because like a lot of players can't make it back. So.
yeah, and like we said, phenomenal comeback player of the year next year. We got some great options to choose from. So
I gotta look on the bright side.
yeah, we're just adding another one. Rich, you got any input for that?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that linemen don't get any recognition, so he probably won't get comeback player of the year. But hey, maybe Rodgers goes down in the Super Bowl after you guys have already clinched the win, and then he can come back.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a bigger blow from a fan who's had a poor O-line for the past I don't know how many years now. So it really sucks. But I mean, if you guys have faith in Turner and Jenkins and other pieces, then it should be good. I will say though, it was kind of like a soul for a soul, like Thanos would say, because you got Snacks Harrison, who's a very decent run stopper, but now you just lost an O-lineman, so can't ever get both. But Dan actually made a funny joke. He's like, "Oh, good, we got Snacks to play O-line." So.
Hey, by the way, do you know what weeks Bakhtiari missed this year?
Week 7 to 9.
Because I just want to know how many sacks we let up in that time.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was week 7 to 9. I'm not entirely sure, but
I feel like our O line is actually like beyond him really strong this year. Like everyone is like working really well. So I don't think it's a big hit, but I'm more worried about the future for him than right now.
yeah, and I mean, I thought it was going to be a huge hit after we lost Brian Bulaga. So I mean, it's definitely been better than expected.
We have lost so many good linemen and then kind of still been all right. Like starting with like Sitton and then Lang and then Bulaga. Like
Yep.
You guys move off him on the right time. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Right as their contract expires, maybe they have a year or two left, maybe, and then they always seem to go to the Lions.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking now, and it is definitely 7 through 9 that he missed, but I don't know how many sacks we
Who did we play those weeks? Can you tell me real quick?
7 to 9. Give me a second. We gotta entertain the crowd while I look it up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Because like Dan said before, I think there's only a few teams really that you would have problems with. I think Tampa Bay, New Orleans would be the immediate two with really good edge rushers. Other than that, maybe Washington if they make it. If Giants make it, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. Seattle, not really. Arizona, not really. LA is more known for their interior rush, and I think Leonard Floyd is on the right side with your right tackle, so that wouldn't be too bad. But
All right, so week 7 we played the Texans and beat them 35-20. Week 8 we played the Vikings and lost 28-22. And week 9 we played the 49ers and beat them 34-17.
Okay, Texans. Let me look. So Texans against us had 0 sacks.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
0
Texans
sacks.
aren't
What was
that
the
good.
next team? I know. What was the next team?
Vikings.
Vikings. They had
they probably still had Everson Griffin at that time.
1 sack. And then the next team.
49ers.
Fuck. I don't think they're on the main slate. Oh wait, there.
I think that
1.
was Thursday.
That's pretty good. 0, 1, and 1.
That is pretty good. Wow.
And like,
Damn.
those aren't like trash G lines like JJ Watt. Like, I mean, okay, they're not great, but they're like middle of the road kind of. Okay, that's kind of.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, we'll move on now to our random rants, and our person in charge of this week is the lovely Richie.
Hello. So I chose 6 players for this week. Either AJ or Dan, whoever wants to go first, can say a number 1 through 6. I will say a random player that I have written down, and they will rant about them. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first. I'll go with 4.
Exactly.
Dan, you will be talking about Jeff Wilson Jr., running back, San Francisco 49ers.
Fuck.
Oh, what a choice!
I mean, like I mean, look, are we talking about his future here, or am I like because their season's over?
Random, rational rant, Dan.
So yeah, their season's
it's
over.
random. You just talk about them.
Okay. So my thought process on him is, it doesn't matter what running back is playing for the 49ers. It literally doesn't matter. They could have absolutely anybody, and they'll be good. So I don't think he can go to any other team and be the same that he was for this past few weeks without Mostert. I think Mostert is the better running back. I like his speed with that offense, all the zone outside runs that they like to run. I like a fast running back. Wilson's more of the bulldozer goal line threat. That's how they've been using him. Yeah, pretty much like it's mainly San Fran is like the sick run offense, and he's just kind of like one of those people you can put in like Garrett Blount on the Patriots a few years ago. Like he just got all the touchdowns, but like he's not actually like great on any other team. So I don't think Wilson's anything special, but with the 49ers he works. So
Very
Yeah,
good.
I mean, if he was on any other team, I feel like he wouldn't be as good as he is.
Right.
But since he's on the 49ers, they have the best freaking running back coach ever. So they just work. It doesn't matter. You can put a freaking old man back there, and they can run with him.
Well, yeah, when you think about it, last year Tevin Coleman had a 4-touchdown game. Raheem Mostert had like 2 games of almost 200 yards. Beginning of this year, Raheem had some sick games, and then Jeff Wilson has 2 games this year, I think, with 3 touchdowns. So, yeah.
Dude, he's a monster. He's insane.
Yeah, I picked him because he was going off, and he's a good placeholder for Mostert. So I don't know if you guys thought maybe he actually had a bright future with the Niners, or if he was just maybe a 1-year wonder.
Well, no, I think it's just the system, but I also think Mostert has a really big injury issue. He's constantly hurt. Like last year, I remember too.
That's true.
So
He got put on the IR again.
No.
Oh man.
All right, AJ. 1 through 6, excluding 4.
Oh, this is like when the teacher calls on you and you don't know the answer and you're just terrified. All right. We're gonna go with number 2.
Number 2, AJ. This is actually kind of shitty for Dan. AJ, you will talk about Calvin Ridley.
Oh, Calvin Ridley. Well, for the Falcons, he's definitely he's a good wide receiver. He's a good wide receiver for just all around in the league. He's definitely overshadowed by Julio. I was gonna mention this before when we were originally talking about him. He's majorly overshadowed by Julio, which doesn't make sense because Julio has not been playing like he usually has been the last couple seasons. Maybe it's because he's been injured with the, what was it, hamstring or calf? I don't remember. Do either of you remember?
Hamstring, yeah.
Okay.
Hamstring.
But yeah, you enjoy those chips. But Calvin Ridley, I feel like if he was on another team, well, any team really, besides like the really big wide receivers, he can definitely be a wide receiver 1. It's just he needs to get out of Atlanta because I mean Matt Ryan's good, but like he needs to be on a team that is consistently good and doesn't just choke the team for him. What's a team that needs a wide receiver that like a decent one?
Giants.
Not the Giants.
Oh yeah, would you be happy with Calvin Ridley, Rich?
I would be very happy with Calvin Ridley. I think he's very much undervalued and underapprecited there. Matt Ryan is a step up from Jones, however, so I think his stats would fall. But
yeah, so it's like I remember even talking like earlier in one of our podcasts. I was like, I always thought Julio Jones is better, but as the season's been going on and Julio's injured, I feel like Calvin Ridley is going to pass Julio. Maybe next year, maybe the year after, but it's bound to happen at some point. And I'm excited for his future.
I think for stat-wise and fantasy-wise, I do think he is at least right with Julio, just because of sheer touchdowns. Like, if Julio's not getting touchdowns, that's such a big hit. I think that Calvin... I remember coming into this season, there were some videos of him, like, absolutely mossing some kids with his route running coming into the season. And I didn't think too much of it just because, like, I was so scared of Julio and whatnot, just taking everything away. But Calvin's a beast, man. Like, these last 4 weeks, he's had over 100 yards in each of the last 4 weeks. I think one of them he broke like 150 as well. So he's really proved me wrong since the last time we talked about this, where I did think he was going to be good without Julio, but I was a little worried about Matt Ryan. But they've come together and actually still looked like a competent offense, surprisingly. So
yeah, it just sucks that they choke all those games at the end.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, we will go to. Do you want to do me now?
Yeah. I mean, wait, are we doing 2 each? I thought we were doing 2 each.
Yeah. So we'll do Dan, AJ, me, then Dan, you go, AJ, then I'll go last.
So you pick, Richie. 1 through 5. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say what number? 52.
Okay, let's go with 5.
Okay. Le'Veon Bell.
Oh,
Le'Veon Bell?
Le'Veon
Okay.
Bell.
So I don't know if it's a product of scheme or whatever it was, but I really think that he made the biggest mistake of his career by not staying in Pittsburgh, because that line was good for him, the offense was good for him. He just fit so well there. I think there was a point where he was even the number 1 running back in the league, at least in my opinion, or up there with him. Then he went to the Jets. I'm pretty sure he took less money to go with the Jets than he would have made with Pittsburgh, but I guess he had to make a point or whatever. That didn't go well. Now he's on the Kansas City Chiefs, and in terms of the team he's on, a great team. I think Dan mentioned before he might not even play this week, so he might have a 2-week bye and then go to the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know if he can ever really get back to his dominating days, because the Pittsburgh scheme was just perfect for him, and he'll never get the true touches of a number 1 running back in Kansas City because they have Clyde, and they kind of like to spread the wealth, because their offense is just so deadly with pretty much everyone who touches it. So, yeah, I think he made a big mistake a few years ago, but I still think he's a competent player. He's definitely can still be a nice. I don't know if it's a backup or like a 1A 1B situation. So, yeah, I missed the patient running from him. That was so fun to watch. When you just kind of like jump on the line and then make the cut, and make people look silly. So,
Andrew, what do you think?
I mean, I feel like with Le'Veon Bell, I agree with Richie in the fact that he made a mistake leaving Pittsburgh. The Jets were not a good team for him, and maybe the Chiefs can be a good team for him, but I feel like I would much rather develop Edwards-Helaire at this rate rather than Le'Veon Bell, because just the fact that he started off the season very well, as we saw with the first Thursday night game of the season. Edwards-Helaire went off, and I mean Le'Veon Bell could be a huge Helaire, but I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't have signed him if I were the Chiefs. Maybe just because he was a big name, but I don't know. Maybe he can go somewhere else. Who likes taking old running backs? Detroit. Let him go to Detroit.
Be the bell cow there. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised at last week, because when Clyde played against New Orleans, he got 16 attempts, so he got 14 attempts and 2 targets before he went down and left for that game. And Bell took the bell cow role and got 15 rushes and 1 target. So they both had 16 attempts that game. So last week, coming into the Atlanta game, everyone kind of thought that Le'Veon was gonna get the start without Clyde being there, but he only got 7 attempts and 3 targets, while Darrell Williams got 10 attempts and 6 targets, which just makes no sense. Like, I just do not get the thought process for using Darrell Williams. Like, I don't know if you guys understand that, but it looks like even if Clyde is out for like these playoffs, let's say Clyde's injury is worse than we think, I don't even know if Le'Veon's going to get half of the touches.
We'll see. Like I said, there's just so much wealth there, and there's so many like players that they can just fit in. So, and again, Le'Veon might not fit their scheme. Maybe they're not a patient O line, especially because I know Swartz. I don't know if he's back, but he's been out. He's missed some games. Their O line hasn't been full strength, so they probably can't afford a patient running back like Bell. But
I mean, lucky for the Chiefs, they're not a run-first team. They are a very pass-first team because of the amount of skill that they have at wide receiver and tight end. So, and with the fact that they do so many trick plays as well when they're close to the end zone. So I'm not really worried about the run game.
very true. All right, Dan.
Right.
Without picking 2 or 4, pick a number 1 through 6.
1.
You will now talk about Corey Davis.
Who? So Corey Davis has looked awful for his whole career up until this year. His whole career seemed to just be, I believe, was he the 7th or 8th pick in that draft class?
One of those two. He's one of the top 3 wide receivers to go, though.
Yeah.
Disappointing wide receiver.
What, AJ?
He was. I just looked. He was 5th. He was 5th.
5th, okay.
Wow.
It was him, Mike Williams.
Yeah.
John Ross.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
John Ross. Yeah. Yeah, at least he wasn't the worst out of the 3. But okay, so he's been a complete bum for 5th overall. But that's because he's kind of had to be the alpha his whole career. They haven't had like AJ Brown until last year. And now that AJ Brown is kind of taking over the alpha role, maybe it's kind of like a Juju Smith-Schuster type of deal where he's a really good secondary piece. So this year he has 60 receptions, 945 yards, 5 touchdowns. So it looks like he'll break 1,000 yards, which is fine. He's had, but my big point with him is he's had some actual like explosive games. It's not just been a bunch of like 15-point weeks. He's had a 38-pointer, a 29-pointer, and it looks like a 24-pointer. So he does have the upside. His top week was 182 yards. So him and Tannehill are starting to get a connection at least. He didn't seem to have any connection with Mariota when he was there. So I think the future's bright with him as long as A.J. Brown is there, because it doesn't seem like he's a true alpha. It seems like he's kind of a complementary piece, like a Juju or Ridley.
AJ?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the points pretty well with him. I was looking at I looked at some of his stats as well, and He had, like you said, a couple big explosion games. He hasn't really had many over 100-yard games, but he's had good numbers for a wide receiver too. So, yeah, if AJ Brown is there, he's good.
All right, I'm going to pose a question to you guys then. Corey Davis is a free agent after this season. If you can get him on a reasonable contract, would you want the Packers to think about signing him?
Yeah. Yes. Because coming to this year, I thought he was like useless. Like I really thought he was terrible. I'm not even lying. I thought he was so bad. But he's come to life this season, and with Devontae being the number one, him and Lazard can just kind of coexist as a number 2, number 3. Because I do think MVS is only honestly good for catching like 60-yard bombs. I don't think he's too great around the line of scrimmage. And Corey Davis as a slot like specialist kind of, I think that would be pretty nice to have him there.
Dan, I think you forget. We have a wide receiver that is going to play next year in Devin Funchess.
No. Like, he's on a 1-year deal, I think. He might not even be.
Yeah, but since he opted out, he didn't play this year, so he's playing next year.
Oh, right.
So we're gonna have him, but I mean, yeah, I'm after seeing Corey Davis play, I would enjoy him. I wouldn't hate the signing, that's for sure. Wide receivers are always welcome at Green Bay. More than welcome, I should say. If Devin Funchess goes off, then no. But yeah, like I said, wide receivers always welcome in Green Bay.
All right, AJ. 1 through 6. Don't pick 1, 2, or 4.
I think we got to go with number 6.
You will be talking about Jared Goff.
Jared Goff has 9 fingers left. Well, I mean, what can I say about Jared Goff? He's a good quarterback if he was a backup. He shouldn't be a starter for the Rams. If the Rams have if the Rams had another QB, like not Blake Bortles, a good one, I feel like they could definitely still make the run for the Super Bowl, but he's injured now, obviously. But even before that, he played against the Jets, and he didn't show anything. Yeah, I don't know. The Rams are such a hot and cold team, and it's starting at quarterback. When you have a quarterback that is inconsistent, it's hard to rally your whole offense. So he's the key helm. Maybe if he works off season, he can get better and actually lead this team further. I mean, granted, when he went to the Super Bowl, actually, I can't even say that. He went to the Super Bowl and they scored, 3 points in total? So, I mean, it's with Jared Goff, he's not good, in my opinion. So I feel like if you're the Rams, you need a QB, and it's not Goff, it's not Bortles, it's someone you might be looking for sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry, I have to say this. Are the Saints tanking? Is Kamara dead? They just ruled him out. Oh.
Whoa, really?
Tested positive for COVID. That's it. Okay. Oh shit! Yo,
He might be dying.
They might lose to the Panthers.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta change that. Oh god.
Yeah. All right, so, Goff, right? Yeah, Goff.
Yeah. Goff.
I saw a stat in the last game because I thought that would be a good game, so I watched it. Complete fucking waste of time. That was the most boring shit I've ever watched. Neither offense could do anything against Seattle. There was a stat that showed the most turnovers total over the last 2 years, and he is first at 38. Daniel Jones is second at 37, and somehow Jameis Winston is still third without playing this entire season. So, yeah, clearly he's really inconsistent because, like, I remember, like, I think it was 2 years ago, the Kansas City game where he just went like nuclear, and he had a bunch of games like that year. He had many games of near 500 yards. And this year he's had a couple high yardage games, but just the touchdowns and the wins just aren't coming in those games. Like when I watched him play against the Dolphins, that was just pathetic. Like he threw like I think it was 60 something attempts. I think Cooper Kupp had like 21 targets. I've never seen a receiver have 21 targets, and they still got mauled in that game. So I think Goff is like he's like a mediocre to low end starter to like really good backup.
Yeah, that's fair. He is definitely hot or cold. He's one of, if not the biggest system QBs there is in the game.
Yeah.
And now that he broke his thumb, this is like, maybe you guys don't agree, but I think the Rams are done now, especially if he can't play. Because if Goff's your starter, and everything guys said, I agree with, then who do you think the backup is, you know? So,
yeah. All right, Richie, pick a number 1 through 4.
Not good. That's what it is.
Let's say 3.
And you missed out on your old duo. I had Saquon at 1, Odell at 2, so you're getting Diggs at 3.
Stephon Diggs?
Yeah.
All right, good. Because if you said like Quandre Diggs.
Quandre.
Quandre.
I actually have his stats up here for the Pro Bowl because he made the Pro Bowl, but Stephon Diggs. Wow, okay. So I just real quick I'd like to point out, remember the fake trade, or maybe not, it wasn't fake, but when Brown almost went to the Bills, Antonio Brown, and like everything blew up, and then it happened like overnight, and I think Brown vetoed the trade. So just imagine Antonio Brown being there. But no, I think this is good for Diggs. I think he's a perfect one for that team for last year who kind of struggled, and I think it was perfect because Allen really hit his stride this year, which helped with Diggs' production. Allen is a big step up from Kirk Cousins, especially after breaking out this year. So I think it was good for him. He seems to be very solid, very reliable as well. I don't have his stats up, but I guess I can look at it now. He seems to always go off, and I know I told Dan this, and hindsight's always 50-50, but Dan had him on his fantasy team, and I was like, I don't know if you should trade him, you know. But like, Dan now knows that Stephon Diggs is the real deal. So Diggs has 111 receptions, a little over 1,300 yards, only 5 touchdowns, but I mean that's fine. Usually the big receivers don't really have that many touchdowns, so he's having
Where you were in the last game.
What was that?
Wait, how many yards did you say?
Oh, maybe this isn't updated. I said a little over 1,300 yards.
Yeah, he's at 1459, and he had 3 touchdowns last game.
Oh, okay. Look at this. Okay, 120 receptions, a little under 1,500 yards, and 8 touchdowns. So, wow. Well, scratch what I just said. He is going off this year. I mean, he probably did make the Pro Bowl. I haven't looked too much into it, but if he didn't, then it's a travesty. But, what can I say? He's a beast. He seems to fit well in that Buffalo team, and they are riding high. I predict them to be 13-3, and they will make the playoffs, winning their division for the first time in God knows how many years. So good for them.
AJ?
What can I say about Stephon Diggs? I'm glad he's not in Minnesota again. He seems to have a great connection with Josh Allen over Kirk Cousins, but then again, no one can really get a connection with Kirk Cousins. Did you guys see that video of was it Justin Jefferson? Kirk Cousins threw the ball over Justin Jefferson, and he was like, "Oh, Kirk, man, throw the ball!"
Yeah.
So I mean, no one can have a connection with Kirk Cousins. So I'm glad he's finally on a good team. I really liked Stephon Diggs. I would have loved to see him go to Green Bay, but I say that about every receiver. But yeah, he's on a good team now, and I mean that team, the team he went to, definitely a team that can make a run for the Super Bowl. That's for sure. So kudos to him, and great trades, Stephon.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. In 15 games, both this year and last year. Last year he had 63 receptions, so he has nearly double that amount this year. 1,100 yards last year is like 1,400 and a half yards this year. 8 touchdowns and 6 touchdowns last year. So he's killing it.
Coming into the season, I drafted him in both leagues in the 7th round-ish, just because I thought it was kind of like that Tyreek Mahomes kind of pairing where it's just like a really good complementary speedster with a big arm kind of guy. I didn't think Josh Allen would be this improved, so I thought the 7th round was still undervalued, but like more like in place than like next year he's going to be in the first, second round. Um, I still think that Adam Thielen is better. Still gonna say it. I think he's done more with Kirk than Steph ever did. I just have to say that because that's always been a big deal for me. I've always said Thielen was the number one, even though Diggs was there. And I think that going forward, he's in fantasy probably he's definitely top 5. I want to say almost top 3 receiver going forward. Because both of them are young, the quarterback and the receiver. And their team seems young all around too. They're well coached. It doesn't seem like they're going anywhere. This is like the start of a dynasty kind of. So.
And your coach of the year, Sean McDermott,
Yep.
at the helm.
All right.
All right. Well, there goes the random rant segment, and now we move on to Week 17 football predictions. We're getting close to the end. Sad, but we're gonna keep trucking. But before I go into that, I'm gonna run through the scoreboard after last week, and we'll just go from here. So right now we have in last place NA with 29 points. Very fair, very fair. We got in 4th place Dan with 37 points. We got in 3rd place Jacob on 44 points. Thanks, Dan. You're making him catch up to me. In 2nd place, we have me with 55. And in 1st place, we have Richie with 75.
Whoa, what?
So big jump. Yeah, big jump. Yeah, you had a big jump, bro.
I just got to tell the audience, I forgot to submit picks last week, so everyone got freebie kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
And I will say this, Richie got a extra point because he got the Giants-Baltimore score exactly right.
Oh.
This man said in our chat that it's an extra 5 points.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, get out of here, bro.
For next year, I think that's a decent rule to have it be like 3 or 5.
Yeah, we'll make it maybe 3 next year, but not last week of the season, man. Get out of here, 5 points.
no, I was so sad though. The Giants lost. Pity me. No, I'm just kidding.
You're already winning. You're winning by 20 points. I don't want to hear it.
I know.
All right.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. So, all of these games are on Sunday. Woo!
Woo.
So, starting off with the first game, we got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Detroit Lions. And starting off with Jacob's pick, because he submitted them to us, he has Minnesota winning this 34-24. No one look in the chat.
I also have Minnesota winning this. I think they'll win. You said 34-24?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll say 26-23.
6-23. Dan.
This game doesn't mean shit. That's why I'm a little. I don't know what to think. I don't know what's gonna happen. I know Cook's out. I'm gonna go with 30-24 Vikings.
30-24. And that is a I can't talk today. A clean sweep for Minnesota. I am also picking them. So NA has a early on chance right away. I'm taking Minnesota 28-21. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this one's for Richie.
This one's tough, and I don't know if I want to implement a rule saying that if a team comes out that they're actually sitting their players, we get to change our predictions. But for now, so I'm only saying that because the Bucks have nothing to play for here. I think.
Well, they're playing to secure the 5th seed.
Oh, if I'm gonna do my little calculator here. If Rams win and they lose, oh, they get 60. Okay, then they're probably gonna play. So I'll say Bucks win 27-17.
17. Dan?
Say Bucks win 35-31. I feel like Atlanta gives them a little run.
Well, you say Atlanta is going to give him a little run. I say Atlanta is going to give him a big run, and I'm picking Atlanta. I'm taking Atlanta 24-21, and Tom Brady's going to drop to the 6th seed.
Okay.
Last time they played, it was 31-27 Tampa Bay. Calvin Ridley had 163 yards and a touchdown. So
exactly. So anything can happen. But that means I get the first bold prediction of the week because Jacob's taking Tampa Bay with his classic score of 40-12.
Monster. Legend.
Next up, we have the New York Jets taking on the New England Patriots, who are not in the playoffs after a lot of years of being in the playoffs. This one's for Dan, sorry.
Yeah, it's for me. I think... Wait, I have a question. If Jets win, they're still second, right? Like, they're still ahead of Cincy in the draft?
Oh, that is a good question.
Because Cincy beat Steelers.
I would say yes, they would be, because if Cincy loses, they'll be 4-12-1.
Yeah.
Or 4-11-1. The Jets will be 4-12.
Okay. And same with Texans. Okay, so yeah, Jets can win the game. I'm gonna pick the Jets. I'm gonna say Jets win 24-21. Because remember, last game they played this, I know it's Joe Flacco, but they actually like could have beat the Patriots, but I think like towards the end they're like, shit, we kind of need to keep the number 1 pick, so they threw. But
well, I'm saying that it's not going to... I'm saying that the Jets are going to lose their 2-win streak here. Because, one, I don't think Bill Belichick is going to end the season on a loss like that, especially. And, 2, I think he's going to get his anger out in this game. So I'm taking New England 30-18.
Okay.
Jacob also going with Dan for the Jets. He says 27-24.
Making the threes above me.
Well, Jacob. Well, first off, AJ, congratulations on your bold prediction this week.
No, come on.
Yeah.
Hey!
I thought I was bold.
I'm so mad, but Jacob took my exact score, so I will pick the under. Dan, what was your score?
24-21.
Fuck. Okay, I'll pick the over. I'll say Jets 30, New England 28.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
AJ has 2 bold predictions. Yo, this was me last week. I saw Richie and Jacob both picked the Jets, and I was like, yo, I was so sure that I was going to win the Jets against the Browns. Like, come on, man.
Not when he's throwing to, like, trash cans. Poor Baker.
All right. Next game, we have the Miami Dolphins taking on the Buffalo Bills. I'm taking Buffalo here. That shouldn't really be a shock. Maybe Miami does something, but I'm taking Buffalo 35-20, even if they sit people. Jacob also taking Buffalo, but a little closer of a game. He's taking Buffalo 30-27.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about this before. Personally, I think you want to knock out your division rivals. They know the most about you. Even if Miami might not be the best team, so maybe you'd want them in the playoffs, I think it still feels so good. And you're playing against your division rival ultimately. So I'm gonna say Bills win this one, 27-26.
Like I said, I mean,
actually, wait! Actually, don't put that down. Don't put that down. Fitzpatrick just went down with COVID. I just remembered. Bills 27-13. It's completely changing it, dude.
Okay.
Fitzpatrick can't pull his late game heroics now. Too has to play the whole game against a solid Bills team. He won't do it.
Well, before Dan goes, like I said before, it is hard to beat a team 3 times, so you do want to knock out your division opponents.
As you said, a solid Bills team. I am under the impression they're going to sit Josh Allen after the second quarter. along with Diggs and whoever else they want. I'm going with Miami. I think Miami's winning this. I'll take a bold prediction for sure. Let's go. It doesn't really matter what I say score-wise, but I'll say 30-24, Miami.
Oh, all right. There's a bold prediction for Dan. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. Jacob has said Pittsburgh 36-30.
Wouldn't this be such a flex if the Pittsburgh Steelers could sit their quarterback, play Rudolph, and still beat the Browns? Just like, yeah, we don't care about you, Baker. Like, let our defense do all the work. I'm not gonna take them though. I'll take Cleveland here. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be the coolest flex ever? I'm gonna take Cleveland here. I'll say 28-23.
All right, Dan?
I agree that Steelers are going to lose. Do you guys know if like TJ Watt and people on defense are sitting?
Yeah, it's probably going to be if they have an injury, they're probably just going to sit him because I know the defense has been a little banged up. So
I don't think he's injured, but okay.
Yeah, so probably not, basically.
Cleveland 20. No. Cleveland 31-17.
All right, well, Jacob has a bold prediction. I'm taking Cleveland as well. One touchdown less than Dan. I'm taking them Cleveland 24-17. All right, next up, we have the game that matters most to one of our guys. The Dallas Cowboys taking on the New York Giants. And this one, clever enough, is for Richie.
don't know if you set that up that way or not.
Yeah, let's go with that.
All right, cool. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm gonna pick the Giants just because I can't root against them in any way, shape, or form this weekend. So I'm gonna say Giants win this one, 23-20. I'm praying they do because I want them to make playoffs. I don't think they will, but Giants, let's do this, please.
All right, Dan.
Yep, I'm gonna have to agree. I gotta go with the Giants here. I'll go with 24-23 Giants.
Piece of shit, and I hate you. That was my exact score. So, you know what? Since I have to change something, I'm picking Dallas here.
Ooh, okay.
That way I get the bold prediction, because Jacob did not pick the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking Dallas 24-23.
I mean, you got that one. Dallas is the better team.
And Giants are I almost said Giants are picking Jacob 17-14, but no. Jacob is picking the Giants 17-14. All right. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, and this one is for Dan.
Okay, so Ravens aren't sitting players, are they? No, they're definitely not.
Yeah.
They might at the end of the game, but yeah. So Bengals aren't going to get lucky here like they did against the Steelers. I think Ravens are just going to trash them around. I'm going to say 36-17 Ravens.
All right. I'm the opposite. Cincy is going to win this game just so they can ruin their rival.
Wow.
So I'm taking Cincy 20-19. Baltimore. I almost did it again. Jacob is picking Baltimore 37-20. So just a little over on Dan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Richie?
Yeah, AJ, you're picking or what is it, like, reminder of 2018 when Cincy beat Baltimore and helped Bills go to the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, Cincy's been playing well, but not enough to merit AJ not getting the bold prediction. So AJ, bold prediction, Cincy wins. I'm still picking Baltimore here. I'm gonna say they win because they've been steamrolling teams. I'm gonna say they win 37-27.
All right. Next up, I think the next one's me, right? Okay. We're going to say so. Next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Indianapolis Colts. This could be another bold prediction for me, but I'm taking Jacksonville here. Bro. Their one win of the season, week 1 against Indy. Their second win of the season, week 17 against Indy. Jacksonville wins 25-14.
Wow.
Jacob says Indy 36-20.
I'm sorry, you blew me away because that means you're predicting probably that Indy doesn't make playoffs. So
Well,
no, I think
I also yeah.
so that I think Jacksonville has fully embraced the tank after sitting Minshew. Chark and their rookie Colin Johnson I think they're both out for this game. I'll take Indy here, 31-14.
Richie, you're stealing my news. I was gonna say Chark's out, and Minshew is a bench warmer now. So, how much should they win by? I'm gonna say 34-15. Colts.
34-15. That's enough. All right. Next up, we got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Houston Texans, and I believe this one, Sir Jacob. I can't even read my own handwriting. Hold on. Pause. Timeout. You picked Titans 36-27.
That's pretty fair. Houston seems to play teams fairly close, unless you're the Green Bay Packers. I'm gonna say Tennessee wins 30-27, clinching them 4th seed in the AFC.
All right, Dan.
I'm gonna say 38-27 Titans.
All right, well, another opportunity for me to take the bold prediction. Love that. But I'm not going to. Actually, no, I am going to, because Richie took my exact score for Tennessee. So I'm taking Houston 30-27.
Bro.
Wow.
Well, this is not my fault. This happened twice already. I don't change my scores unless they are exact scores, and of course that happened twice already. All right, so get lost. All right, next up, Arizona Cardinals versus LA Rams, and I believe this is Richie.
Yeah, Rams have been faltering recently. Fun fact: the Rams are 7-0 against Arizona in the McVay era, so I think that's going to change. I think Arizona's got this one, clinching them a playoff spot. I'm going to take Arizona here, 27-13. Actually, yeah, I don't think it's going to be even close. I think 27 might be a little bit much, but without Goff, I just don't think they're going to get anything on the ground, so or the air, anything going.
They 27-24 Cardinals.
27-24. Well, I'm picking the opposite. I'm picking the Rams here. I really have no reason to pick the Rams, except I really think they're gonna make the playoffs. So I'm gonna take them 29-23. Did I say Jacob's score for this one? I don't remember.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm not getting the bold prediction for this one, sadly. Jacob also picks the Rams. I don't think he understands that people can sit players or that players are injured. But yeah, he picked Rams 27-20. Next up, we got.
Wait a minute.
The New Orleans. Oh, what?
Wait a minute.
Dan?
It's not. It's
What,
not
Dan?
Blake Bortles, guys. Who said it was Blake Bortles? It's
Who is it?
John Wolford.
Oh yeah, I know. I was joking about. I said it could potentially be Blake Bortles, but yeah, it's gonna be that guy from is the XFL, the AAF. He's gonna be in. I mean, unless you think there's gonna be a crazy upset.
You want to change your score, Dan? You think Rams are going to win now?
Okay. 24-21 LAR.
Oh. See, that could be good because Kyler is injured. He probably won't be able running as much because he has a leg injury. So that takes away.
I think Rams are
Oh.
the better team for sure. So I think they'll make the playoffs.
That leaves a bold prediction for Richie.
I'll take it.
For Arizona? Wow, all right. All right, next up, we got the New Orleans Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers. And this one's for Dan.
Yeah, so Kamara just got ruled out, but Saints still need to win this to have the potential, because Green Bay plays after them. So, JK, they play at the same fucking time. Okay, so anyways, they don't know what Green Bay's score is going to be, so they still need to win. So, Latavius Murray's going to have himself a game, and they're going to win 31-24.
Yeah, I'm also taking New Orleans. I thought I was going to change my score, but then I forgot that Latavius Murray is still a beast, even when Kamara is not at his best. So
don't even, like,
I'm going to take
change.
them 20. Yeah. So, like, I think they're going to be fine. I'm going to take New Orleans 28-23. Jacob also taking New Orleans 32-27. This opens up the opportunity for Richie to get another bold prediction.
I hate Carolina. They never let McCaffrey play injured. So New Orleans wins 28-17 for the fantasy team. Lost by 5 points to Acme Packers over there.
Yay! The Packers had my back that week. Jair Alexander was going to get another pick on Tannehill, and he dropped it. So
No, that's not fine. If they just didn't let the 40-yard rushing touchdown, then
that too.
it's whatever.
All right. Next up, speaking of the Packers, we got Green Bay at Chicago, and this one's for me, I think. Yeah. So I'm taking Green Bay here. I think I predicted this game to be close last time, and I'm going to do it again because it's a divisional game. So I'm going to take 30-20 Green Bay. Jacob has also predicted a closer game than I have, but a lot high scoring. He says Green Bay 40-37.
I'm going to say Green Bay. I like 32-27.
32-27.
34-24.
All right. Next up, the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. And Jacob has predicted Chiefs 37-14.
Well, now that we know who's sitting, I'm going to take a Chargers upset, even though it probably isn't since Mahomes isn't playing. I'm going to say Chargers win 27-23. They probably should have won the first time they played, so I think they get that back. Chiefs finished the year 14-2.
Yeah, so Chiefs are going to be sitting some players. Neither team has anything to play for. I'm going to say Chargers. Fuck it. Chargers will have just a blow-up game at the end here. Let's say 38-24 Chargers.
Well, I never would have guessed it, but Jacob has a bold prediction on the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chargers as well, 27-17. Right, 3 games remaining. We got Seattle Seahawks at the San Fran 49ers. This one's for Richie.
I mean, I don't know which games you're taking or whatever scores you're taking. I'm taking San Fran here. I'm gonna take hopefully a bold prediction here. I'm gonna say San Fran wins 27-24. Let's say.
All right, Dan.
I'm going to go with Seattle winning. Wait, did you say Seattle's gonna lose?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go Seattle wins 28-23.
Well, Richie, sorry to tell you this.
I know it.
But if it was any guy, it's gonna be me, and I really don't want Seattle to win, so I'm gonna hope my prediction is right and boost it towards the 49ers and pick them 24-23. And Jacob has picked Seattle as well, so Dan also doesn't get the bold prediction. He gets 27-20.
That's fair.
Next up, we got Las Vegas at Denver Broncos, and this one's for Dan.
So both teams don't care. Can go either way. Something tells me Broncos. I'm gonna say Broncos 27-24.
24. I'm gonna take Las Vegas, 27-12. Jacob is gonna take Las Vegas as well, 27-20.
And Richie will not give Dan the bold prediction. Sorry, Dan. Because Raiders are a terrible December team. Denver wins 33-30.
All right, and last game, the other game that matters to Richie, the Washington football team versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And for me, I'm taking Philly here, even if Alex Smith plays. I'm taking the Jacob, also on the Philadelphia side. He's taking them 30-27.
What was your score? You cut out.
I said Philly 30-20.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting game. If Washington wins, they're in. I believe I saw something that there's a chance Smith doesn't play. I'm not sure what the thing is. I think McLaurin's also banged up. I'm gonna take the Eagles here. 27-20.
I would probably take the Eagles here, but since it's a bold prediction, I'm gonna go with Washington, 23-20.
All right, and those are our Week 17 football predictions in the books, ladies and gentlemen. And lastly, we end off with our Super Bowl predictions. And luckily enough, we have one friend here that is changing.
I have to, because Goff went and broke his right thumb.
Yeah.
With that being said, just to be different, I'm going to roll back the clock a little bit and go to my original prediction. I think I predicted them once. I'm just going to say Tampa Bay, Tennessee Super Bowl. And because of Tampa Bay's stout run D, I think they will win the Super Bowl.
Again, Chief?
Against Tennessee.
Oh, you cut out so hard for me. Okay.
Sorry. Tampa Bay, Tennessee. Tennessee loses.
You're still on this Tennessee thing.
I don't know, man. I think they can manhandle teams in the playoffs. If they get their run game going, keep the ball out of the hands of the Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. I think they could win games that way. So.
Baker and Aaron Rodgers thought a little different, but. Yeah, I'm gonna still stick obviously with the Chiefs. I'm gonna still stick with the Saints, but I am a little worried about Michael Thomas. I want him back, and now Kamara's whatever COVID. I think he'll be fine. Doesn't help that we just lost Bakhtiari for the Packers, so that would be the only team I'd even think about switching to, really. So I'm gonna stick with the Saints, and Chiefs win.
I'm gonna take. I'm still rocking my State Farm Bowl, Chiefs Packers, and I'm gonna take the Packers still, even though we just lost Bakhtiari. I like the Packers' chances. I just saw something before we end off. Elton Jenkins will be replacing Bakhtiari at left tackle. All right, well, and that is the podcast. Would anyone else like to say anything before we wrap it up?
If some of you thought 2020 finished us off at the end, you were wrong. We're always coming back.
Oh yeah, like the Rona.
Like the Rona.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to help out the channel. Leave a comment if you have questions about us. If you want to throw in a question for us to answer about football, anything. And yeah, make sure you hit that little bell next to the subscribe button if you hit the subscribe button. And before we end off, shout out to our editor, Andrew. I forgot to shout him out at the beginning, so shout out to him. Thank you for the beautiful thumbnails. And yeah, we will see you all in the next episode.
Bye.
Happy holidays, everyone.